Welcome everybody to Noah's Letter number 121. This is the overtone peacock moon of radiance of the white magnetic wizard year, and I am Jacob Rhythmic Dragon, Director of Communications of the Foundation for the Law of Time. Thank you very much for tuning in. We have a pretty interesting moon coming up here. The overtone moon is the moon where I ask ourselves, how can I best empower myself? So these are a good question to keep in mind. You just hold it in your mind and see if answers come to you. And you're not alone in wondering that. We're all considering and reflecting on how can I best empower myself. So this moon, of course, begins on November 15th Gregorian and ends on December 12th Gregorian. And it includes, the 28 days of this moon includes days from 3 different wave spells. So we'll talk a little bit about the landscape of this coming moon through the lens of seeing which wave spells are contained in the moon. So the first 5 days of the moon are the final 5 days of the white mirror wave spell, the power of endlessness, order, and reflecting, the white mirror wave spell, which is the second wave spell in the blue western castle of burning, which is a 52-day cycle consisting of 4 different wave spells. So we're completing the white mirror wave spell within the first 5 days of this moon, and then from day 6 until day 18 of this moon will be the blue monkey wave spell. 13 days of the blue monkey wave spell, the power of magic, illusion, and play. And this is also known as the beginning of the monkey genesis. It's a sequence of 78 days, or 6 wave spells, known as the monkey genesis. So those 13 days go all the way up until the 18th of the moon, which is December 2nd, and that following day is the beginning of the yellow seed wave spell, the power of flowering, awareness, and the power to target. So we get 10 days of this wave spell from magnetic seed all the way up to red planetary skywalker, which is the conclusion of this moon. So to recap these 3 wave spells, we have the first 5 days give us the completion of the white mirror wave spell of endlessness, followed by 13 days of the blue monkey wave spell of magic, and then followed by 10 days of the yellow seed wave spell, power of flowering. And then the final 3 days of that wave spell will be the first 3 days of the next moon. So also in this moon, we have 8 different galactic activation portals, and they're all in a row beginning on the 21st day of the moon, which is the 5th of December. It's on kin 146, White Electric World Bridger, that we begin the so-called Omega run of galactic activation portals, where there's 10 galactic activation portals in a row. So again, we have 8 of them in a row, beginning with White Electric World Bridger, and every day after that will also be a galactic portal until the red planetary skywalker, the 28th day of this moon, which will also incidentally be a full moon. So it's a nice synchronization of the 3rd dimensional lunar phase cycles as perceived from the surface of the Earth with the 28-day 4th dimensional galactic standard time measurement of the 28 days of the 13-moon calendar. That is to say, 13 28-day moons within the 13-moon calendar. So we have 8 galactic activation portals in a row, and this moon there's only one clear sign of Pakal Votan. To learn about the clear signs, go to lawoftime.org/clear signs, and that one clear sign is on the 7th day of this moon, yellow lunar human, kin 132, and that's the clear sign signifying the human in back in synchronization. In other words, like the 13-moon lunar human, and that's the only. Just to double check myself here, that's the only clear sign in this whole moon. A couple other interesting things about this moon is that the first 15 days of this moon, from day 1 until day 15, that is November 15th until November 29th, these are the last 15 days of what is known as the mystic column of the Zolkin. And I think I have a slight visual reference here. I could turn it upside down. I got a Zolkin, kind of a Zolkin thing here. And you see that black line in the middle? If you look at a graphic of a Zolkin, yes, a good stretch on the shoulder. There you go. You'll see that woven pattern that looks like a DNA spiral. And the line that goes down the center, which is an empty black line, is known as the mystic column. There are 20 days right down the center of the Zolkin, where there are no galactic activation portals, and which represent the seventh dimensional, say, speaking tube of God, or your seventh articulation, that your central column, the spine of the human. So that's like central channel. And so we're finishing that mystic column in the first 15 days of this moon, which also just adds to the moon's potency. And something else I just noticed before getting ready to record this about this moon, and which will be true for any moon that begins with a white world bridger. And so this will only happen in a white wizard year. In white wizard years, the moons always begin on a white day. In the other years, like blue storm years, yellow seed years, red moon years, those moons will always begin with those respective colors, red, blue, or yellow. So in a white wizard year, if the moon begins on a world bridger, you'll have this pattern that I just noticed. I was looking in the 13 Moon Almanac of Synchronicity. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. So if you look in day 11 and day 18 of the moon, I was just looking, it's nice and interesting sometimes to look at the very center of the moon. Day 11 and day 18 would be like the center of the moon. And there's also that vertical central axis, if you look at it that way, day 4, day 11, day 18, and day 25 of the moon. And what I noticed is that day 11 and day 18, the yellow warrior and the blue knight were both are signatures or solar seals that are both coded by the planet Saturn. Now, to learn how the solar seals correspond to the planets, go to lawofTime.org/galactic-intro. That's GALACTIC-INTRO. lawofTime.org/galactic-intro. Galactic-intro. And one of the lessons in there will show you how each of the 20 solar seals corresponds to one planet in our solar system. And this is a cosmology of our solar system, a fourth dimensional cosmology of our solar system, which includes Pluto, and it also includes the asteroid belt as the destroyed planet Maldek. So every galactic signature has a planet associated with it, and I thought it was really peculiar to see that the two center ones are the same planet. Well, as a matter of fact, let's see if I can, okay, yeah, every pair that's perfectly like a mirror of itself. This is weird doing this in this like mirror video screen. I'm trying to, oh yeah, let's just do this. So every pair that's a mirror of itself, like these two in the middle, right? They're reflected across the middle. These are perfectly radially symmetrical from each other. In other words, also the first day of the moon and the last day of the moon are perfect opposite corners of each other. And they also, you'll notice, add up to 29. Like day 1 plus day 28 equals 29. So every pair that adds up to 29 in this way that crosses along the central axis, every pair is the same planet for the entire moon. So like day 1 and day 28 are White World Bridger and Red Skywalker. They're both coded by Mars. And the same is true for every one of these pairs. So I thought that was really interesting, considering also that it's a moon that begins with the World Bridger. So there's just some interesting patterns there for you to check out. And I wish you all the best for this overtone peacock moon of radiance. Let's see if we can figure out how we can best empower ourselves. Hello again, everybody. I actually misspoke when I told you about this interesting pattern with the planets. It's not only on a moon that begins with World Bridger, but also on any moon that begins with Yellow Warrior. So it won't only happen on White Wizard years. It'll happen on both White Wizard and Yellow Seed years. I went through and checked a bunch of moons. Never will it occur in a Red Moon year. Never will it occur in a Blue Storm year. But it will occur in a Yellow Seed year and the White Wizard year. In the White Wizard year, it'll happen on moons that start with White World Bridger. And on the Yellow Seed year, it'll start with moons that begin on the Yellow Warrior, which is again a perfect illustration of the mathematical consistency in all these codes, because White World Bridger and Yellow Warrior are perfect antipodes of each other. That is, they're exactly 10 apart. World Bridger is 6, Warrior is 16, number 16. So if you have the wheel of all 20 solar seals, 6 and 16 will always be perfectly opposite each other. That is to say, antipodal. So the same is true, that pattern of the planets where all the opposite corners of the days, the radially opposite mirroring corners of the days will occur, where they're the same planets on the White World Bridger, moons that begin on White World Bridger and moons that begin on the Yellow Warrior. And also, while I'm here recording this other one, I wanted to just invite you to check out the free 28-day Galactic Intro at lawoftime.org. I mentioned it, but I wanted to formally invite you to do the 28-day intro for this moon of how can I best empower myself. It's a free download at lawoftime.org slash galactic intro, lawoftime.org slash galactic hyphen intro. Once again, so you just download it for free, and there's reading and activities for every day of the 28-day moons to further integrate all this knowledge. So I hope a lot of you will take the invitation to heart. Even those of you who have been following this for a long time, maybe we can all synchronize together in exploring the various activities for each of the 28 days. So thanks again.